Many years ago, I was a duty lawyer, which means I was the lawyer who sort of hangs around the court in case somebody comes with a matter and it's their job to help the person out on the day. And this guy turned up and his papers had been marked no further adjournments, which means like this is it. It's the day, it's the day that things are going to happen. And he had been charged with and pleaded guilty to some larceny. And it was basically that he'd stolen probably about $50 worth of stuff. It's unremarkable stuff like batteries, laundry detergent, like stuff you needed. And I asked him what was going on and why he'd done it. And he kind of broke down and he just told me his story about how he'd been going through a really tough time, how his boss had stuffed him over, and how it was almost Christmas and he felt like such a loser because he couldn't even provide the basics for his family. And like in a moment of madness, he had he'd taken those items. And he was a really sympathetic guy. He had no real meaningful criminal history. He'd been, not in trouble for a very long time. And I put all of that to the magistrate, and, the holiday spirit carried, and the magistrate was very fair, and we got a really good outcome. And then we went, and there's a fine or a fee he had to pay to the court. It was a few $100s. It was a lot more than he'd shoplifted. And he was just like, I'm never going to be able to pay this. I'm never going to be able to sort out what I need to for my family. So the first thing is I negotiated a payment plan for him, which isn't part of my job, but I went to the clerk there, and the clerk and I know each other, and we managed to talk, and we got a pretty decent payment plan. And then I handed him all the money in my wallet, which wasn't a lot. I was a really baby lawyer at the time, but would have been about $70, $80. And I just said, this is from me for Christmas. Get what you needed to get from the store and get your family something. And honestly, I still remember how good I felt. I was on cloud nine. There was no present or experience that ever made me feel quite as remarkable as that, except for something that happened at Christmas yesterday. We lost our Dashin 2 years ago. I love that dog. That dog was my absolute favorite dog. And we've been meaning to get a new one. We've been going to breeders. We just haven't been able to find one. But there is this ethical pet store near where I live. And on a whim, even though it was Christmas Eve, I said, let's go see, if they're stocking any. And we went in, and wouldn't you know it, there was a litter of Dachshunds. And I said, I'm not going to buy one, but we took one out, and I said, hey, do you want to come home with me? And this little lady gave me a kiss. And this might be my new favorite Christmas memory. Merry Christmas. Thank you for following me for more legal TikTok.